Hola, soy Silvia y soy adicta. Hi, I'm Silvia, I'm an addict. I'm a grateful addict of the local fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous in Barcelona. Last night, I slept really bad, really. I was really nervous about my sharing today, and I was in a sort of in a mood what I call the washing machine mood. It's when your thinking start to go like that, up and down, up and down. I would like to start with a little story. Last weekend I went out of the city for spend a weekend with friends, and when we were coming back on Monday morning, we enter in the avenue, Diagonal Avenue, which is one of the main avenues of the city, and suddenly we saw all those banners with the logo of NA for the convention. I don't know if you saw them. I saw around all the city, but it's really, for somebody that is living in Barcelona, it was really impressive to see all those banners in the Avenida Diagonal, which is really like one of the main streets. And I was with a friend of the fellowship, and he said to me, look at that, and I feel so proud you can imagine. And suddenly I remember my first meeting here in the city. I started to attend the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous in 1986. It was only one group in Spain, in Barcelona. The fellowship was pretty new, a little more than 1 year. And I was so lonely, so desperate, so I don't know where going to ask for help. By then in this country it was not easy for an addict. There was not many offered. I didn't know anybody from the fellowship. I didn't know nothing about the 12 steps. I had no idea of the existence of this program, of other programs similar. I have no family in this fellowship, in a 12-step program, nothing at all. So one afternoon I went downtown to look. I was waiting for a drug dealer in Las Ramblas, really downtown, in a bad area of the city. And while I was waiting, I saw on a billboard that old pamphlet of NA that I'm an addict. It was just in a billboard in the middle of nowhere, this little thing. And I started to read that and answer the question. It was really the old one. They say, like, did you steal your marijuana plant from your neighbor? And questions like that, was not the new one. And I was just reading those questions and answering for myself, and then the answer, if you say yes to, like this test of the Women magazine or something like that. So it was a telephone number, a local telephone number, and I write down that telephone number, and when I go back home, I call it. And a lady answered the phone. By then the telephone was in the house of a member. Actually, NA was really, really tiny and almost nothing here. And I call, and she say, if you want, we will go to your house. And I say, yes, can. And then I forget of that thing, and I went out, and it was a friend of mine in the house, I don't know. And they were supposed to come at around 7 o'clock in the evening. And when I came back, they were already at home talking with my friend. And my friend didn't know anything about who was that people. She was also an addict, of course. But it was really strange, because my friend was in a couch looking at them, and they were like that, talking to him. And I just put like behind them, like if I was coming with them to carry the message too. And And I was saying, yes, listen to them. They are right, But it was something strange happened to me. It was something that attracted me. I don't know how it was. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. And they invited me to a meeting. Actually, they came home and they picked me up and they take me to a meeting. That was my first NA meeting here. And I sit down and I was, of course, high, very high, looking at my watch all the time. And I thought, yeah, that's okay, but not for me. I'm very different. I'm just too different. They are just for other people. So between my first and my second meeting, it passed almost half a year. During those 6 months, I really hit bottom. I really hit bottom in a very bad way. I end up in a hospital, in a local hospital, getting blood and all that. So, but I still have that telephone number. And I call again. It was my second telephone call. And the same lady answered the phone. And I say, I don't know if you remember me. I say, yes, I remember you perfectly. How are you doing? And I said, great, I'm in the hospital. Yeah. always trying to feel and to pretend you are okay, because if the other think you are okay, maybe you are going to feel okay. Always that I remember. So I was in the hospital, and she asked me again if I want they visit me. And I say, yes, come to visit me, but in a really cool way, Yeah, if you want to visit me, but okay, I don't really care, And so they came and they brought a meeting to me at the hospital. Came a few members. We were not very big fellowship, like 4 or 5 people, and we made a meeting at the aisle of the hospital, and all the nurses, everybody was looking, what's those people, what they are doing, probably from an evangelist cult or something like that, And I say, and all the time I was really saying, no, this is American cult, different, something from outside, And I need to... So I was a really lucky person then, because the fellowship by then, the people that started the fellowship and the people that attended then, they were or they knew Narcotics Anonymous in other countries, or they came from other fellowship. That was the basic group here. So I was like a sort of one of the first clients from the street, a real junkie from the street that came to the fellowship. So they were all really loving and caring and taking care of me a lot. Since when I went out from that hospital, I started to attend regularly the meetings here. It was like one, and then we opened another meeting. It was just 2 groups at the city, and I went almost all the days that we have meetings. It was not over days. I was still using. It took me to surrender. It took me almost another 6 months, but I keep coming back. I keep coming back, and I'm sitting down. I was not using a lot, and I was not saying I'm clean, but I was not saying I'm dirty. I'm using. I was just saying anything. And after 6 months or something like that, I was in the metro station, and somebody came and say, are you still using? And I said, no, a couple of beers every now and then. And I remember she said, why don't you stop? Just surrender. Okay, it's finished. Just think, okay, you don't have to use for today, and everything is good. And something in the way she said to me, I don't know, it connected with me. And since that day, it was March 8th of 1987. I'm clean, and I'm really grateful, clean addict from Narcotics Anonymous. The first benefit, I really like the topic of this meeting. The first benefit of being clean, as far as I can remember, is I start to feel instantly a bit more healthier, a bit healthier. You know, like I grow a little fat, I start to eat, I was with 8 months with dark glasses, night and day, all the time, and when I went, I had a really strong infection in my one eye. Actually, I lost 75% of my vision in one eye, and I remember when I was in the hospital, they were to make an operation in the eyes, and I was really scared about how I would look, if I would look like that, and came the doctor and say, "Listen, Silvia, you want to see well or you want to look good? What do you prefer?" And I said, "I think I prefer to look good." And he said to me, "How can you be so superficial?" And it was the first time somebody, because I didn't think by then I was superficial at all. I was thinking I was really cool. And it was like a shock when that doctor said that to me. And I start to put like all the pieces together of a sort of destroyed life. I took a sponsor. I was really into service since the very beginning of my recovery. Not because I wanted, just because it was necessary. We were just a few, and it was no other option. I started to work in translation. We didn't have a lot of literature, so we started to translate all the things. For me, it was like I start like a completely new life with a network of people, and the difference was pretty fast. Between my first 6 months of recovery, my entire universe has changed a lot. So that's allow me to build a really strong and nice foundation of my recovery based on meetings, sponsor groups, literature, all the things that you are supposed to do at the beginning and at the middle and at the end of your recovery. But okay, now I forget. So every now and then I have, then another benefits I got from this program was pretty hard for me. It was to deal with feelings. I think in a way being clean is to learn how to feel, or to learn to identify your feelings, or at least trying to identify what are you feeling. At the beginning of my recovery, I really identified anger. I was angry all the time. Now I know it was fear, but for me fear was and still is a feeling I really don't like very much. So I prefer anger. Anger, it's a feeling that makes me feel alive in a way, more than fear. And then the second process and through the step, I really when I start my recovery, I identified two feelings: fear and guiltness. I was feeling really guilt about all the things I have done to my family, to my lovers, to my friends, to myself, like ruining my life during years and years of using. Actually, I was born in Buenos Aires from a loving and I think non-dysfunctional family, and the first using of drugs for me, always when I tried a new drug was until level of intoxication. I think I was an addict even before I started using. And I'm a little distracted now, I write down everything to be more ordered, but of course when you are here you forget everything. When I was invited to share in this workshop 2 months ago, the first thing I thought was, no, I don't want to do it. I was saying no. I was saying no because I just want to come to this convention. Actually, the convention came to me, because I was here. So if the convention came to me, I just want to be here around, fellowshipping, going to the meeting, really having, because it's stressful. And it's a topic. There is a workshop with a nice topic to do the things you don't want to do. It's part of this program too, to do the things, and that's willingness. So it arrived, that email inviting me to share in this workshop. Arrives on Friday, and my instant reaction say, okay, I will answer right now. They keep sending no, saying no, thanks, but no, and say, okay, say a little voice inside me, take the weekend and think about it. So okay, I took the weekend, and on Monday I say, yes, I will be more than honored to be here and share my experience, strength, and faith with all of you. And instantly, all the part of myself say, okay, but that's unfair, because all the English-speaking people can have the opportunity to be bright in their own language. I have to be bright in a foreign language. And that's for my pride. It's like, it's like you're smashing in my face, because I don't have the habit to share in English. And I saw now to my right all the Spanish fellowship with the headset, and I'm thinking what they are translating in this. Hi. When I start working the steps, I start working the steps in a really chaotic way, because I was really rebel. So my first sponsor was a really sweet boy, very soft. I think I choose him for that. So, and I say to him in the beginning, I want to start by step 8. Because I feel guilty, and I wanted to get rid of my guiltness instantly, the instant gratifications. So okay, make a list. Okay, I earn money to this. I have to do as excuse, blah 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 blah. And it was a disaster. It was a disaster, really. But okay, and it was good, because he said, okay, try it. Every time when I propose like new systems of doing things, he say, okay, try it. And okay, I did try, and it was always a disaster. So this start my program with the amendment, it was really, I don't recommend to anybody to do that way, because it was a bad experience. But okay, then. But I was clean. I also had problems I also had a really lot of problems with my concept of the higher power. I come from a really intellectual, atheist family. I grew up with the teachings that God doesn't exist since I was 3 years old. So I went to school everywhere. I grew up in a Catholic church, and I would say to the teacher, God doesn't exist. My dad said that God doesn't exist. Shut up. And my father said, no, you don't have to say that everywhere. So I grew up in a family, and so I never had, the good part is I don't have resentments against any religion too. This is the good side of the story. So when I arrived to this program, for me it was really, really difficult. Really difficult. Still is difficult every now and then, the concept. But okay, during my years of recovery, I was like changing. At the beginning, really my higher power was the group and the meetings. The group and the meetings. Now I understand this program as a bridge to life. As a bridge to life. Now I understand active addiction as a bridge to death. So all the work I was doing in my personal life, all the things I was trying to change in my way of living, it's like taking me to life, the portion of death of active addiction is terrible. When I think now on the years I was using, I really still scares me how a human being can treat themselves so badly, so bad, so. And now I wake up in the morning. I'm fortunate because I'm sharing my life between Barcelona and a very nice, beautiful little island in the Mediterranean. This winter we open a new NA meeting there. We are already only 2 members, but okay, it will grow up because I know it will grow up. And yesterday I was sitting there. Today is not, but it was a big map of Spain there in the screen, and it's a little dot there. I was looking at that little dot where I passed a big part of my active addiction because it was a sort of hippie paradise. Everybody went there to take drugs and all that. So I still have my house there, and it's a beautiful place. And now I'm going through a really difficult period of my life. Many things are changing at the moment. And a few days ago, I was on the phone with a good friend of mine from the program, and I was explaining what was going on in my life at the moment. And in one moment, I said to her, I don't know if I'm getting crazy or irresponsible or what, but I'm feeling a really good mood. I'm feeling well, even if everything is. And she said to me, and she allows me to put it here. She said to me, being grateful is a way of living. Is a way of living. When people learn slowly, day by day, of being grateful, at the end they're just in a good mood. I'm mainly in good mood. Some days I'm really bad or having bad time, but I'm mainly in a good mood. And I really appreciate that. It's really well for me to feel that way, to feel like to face all the problems that I can have in my life today with dignity. For me, that was really important, and this is the exclusive merit of the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. To can face all the things with dignity, with love, with loving myself a little more, and trying to be the sweetest as I can with myself. That's a really big change, and I need many years. My recovery was really slow, and sometimes I'm doing things now, and I say to myself, why I didn't do that 10 years ago, for example. Because I was not ready. Some people was very fast, and some people do things on a more winding way, and I'm really distracted because we have, I don't know, this is like to be on TV with this monitor that tells you how long, and I still have 5 minutes, and before I forget, because I'm not very organized on my speech, I would like to thank, because I didn't say it at the beginning of my sharing. I would like really to thank the host committee because they work a lot. I was really to thanks the I would really like to share the committee from this World Convention and all the people that were coming during the last years to organize this convention. And I would really like to thank all the translators that are there on the cabins, because without translators it's not a World Convention. And I'm saying that because I'm myself a translator. And I was in many conventions on that cabins, and I like that because you hide in a little cabin with this and you feel okay. And you talk. You hide and you talk. It's perfect for an addict. And I'm really honored to being here sharing. Even I know when I go down, I will say, "Oh, Silvia, it was really the starter. Oh, you could say that and this and that," and then you forget. I know, but I feel really honored to be here. I'm feeling really grateful to have all of you home, because I'm home here. This is my place. This is where I was using drugs, and this is where I stopped using drugs, and here is where I'm recovering. And I'm really touched to have all those people, all those banners, all those recovery atmosphere here. For me, it's impressed me. It's my first World Convention. It's the first time I had the opportunity to be in a World Convention, and for me, it's really something really impressive. I imagined many times, but it is the first time I saw it. And I want to finish, because I almost have no time. I want to finish with a message for people that are starting this way of life, this way of Narcotics Anonymous life. It's just keep coming back. Your life will be that good you can imagine. You never would thought it would be that good. And that's all. Thanks.